So this is Love After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 12, called Put a Sweater On and Chill. That's the name of this episode. And this is the second half of the show. So let's get right into it. We're going to watch it together, and I'm going to give my commentary as we go. So we left off right here where Lacey and Shane found out about the triplets or what have you. And we're just going to roll into, it left off right as Michael and Sarah were back. So let's jump in. Oops. Okay. All right. Oh, it just keeps going back. I'm sorry. Right here. All right.
You alright?
Yeah, he's gone. He left.
Well, what did he say?
He said that I was selfish to make this birthday party about you, and I don't regret it. That was his decision.
It's a tough situation. I feel sad for the kids, man. They like lit up when they see him.
So Michael pulls over so he can make a phone call.
Yeah,
What's that up?
what's going on?
That man leaving Aviana and Ryan party.
So this is very telling right here because his father wasn't in his life, and this is very telling that that's who he reaches out to. We talked about, excuse me, in my last commentary how he didn't have the tools to work with and he had a father who was absent. And so it just shows that he's trying to find out, how do I be a parent? And so he contacts his model, which I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing.
So how'd that go?
Man, it went left. My dad always been like a voice of reason, even when I didn't want to hear it. But he is somebody I can legitimately say that when I'm feeling something, I can call him and I'm okay with whatever he got to say. Cause he gonna tell it like it is.
So what happened?
Sarah, come outside.
So that says a lot right there, that his father was absent, but he still really trusts his father's judgment. He really feels like he's, like he said, he's the voice of reason. But how can that be when he didn't follow through, you know? So that kind of defeats the purpose. He doesn't have, and it's someone older always told me, never take advice from someone who is worse off than you. And I don't know if that's absolutely true, but it just reminds me of that little thought.
She like, I want to talk to you. I'm like, what's up? So I'm in a relationship. I'm like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. Oh, and he's here. And I'm just looking like, what the like, this not the time to be meeting anybody. It's about my daughter.
Now, he has a point on that. In my last video, I talked about how it just doesn't seem right the way Sarah planned that out, to have him show up with her man there. But at the same time, her life shouldn't be surrounded by making sure he's comfortable, making sure he's happy. She should be able to move on and whatever, especially since he's an absent father. However, it just wasn't the right time, and I think he's absolutely right. And I really feel that because he is such an emotionalist being, he just seems to be so unattached from emotions. I think Sarah just really needs him to show that he's angered that she moved on, and try to kind of make him feel the way that he makes her feel. Because if you can't tell, she has been absolutely devastated and torn down by him moving on. So I think she really wanted to get a rise out of him and kind of like one-up him a little bit. And yeah, that wasn't cool, because it's not about what you're trying to do with him. It's not about that. This is about the child's birthday. It should have been that he just came in, allow him to be who he is, and just, you know, fall in line. But
How did you feel about the guy she seen? Did that kind of catch you off guard? Or
It caught me off guard. Listen, I ain't know nothing about the dude. So I left because I didn't want no parts.
But you handled it very well. I mean, 'cause the old you would have went ziggity boom, and you didn't. So,
Exactly. And that's what I felt was being forced. Like, want to see go crazy. I'm like, no, negative. No, I gotta go. When you done doing your party, I'm gonna come get my girls and I'm gonna do something for them. I'm gonna pop up there anyway.
You think that's a good idea?
No.
And one thing I can say is that his father does seem like he's a pretty reasonable person. So without knowing anything about his father except that he was absent, he does sound like he pretty much has his head on straight, because he's asking like clinical questions like, do you think that's a good idea? Rather than just giving him verbiage, he's allowing Michael to come into his own mindset, and he knows the right questions to ask. I thought that was pretty interesting.
I don't think it's like a good idea. It's just, I came here to see my girls. I didn't come here to do anything else. I came.
And that right there is it. And I think Sarah does actually have a problem with the fact that he just genuinely doesn't care. This guy, he's pretty emotionless, and that doesn't mean he doesn't feel, but he doesn't process things. He'll rather just tap out and walk away, and I feel that that is a learned behavior. I have no idea if it is a learned behavior, but I feel like it might possibly be a learned behavior since he only had an absent father. And like I mentioned, he was mature enough to say and understand, like, this ain't about us right now. This ain't about no tit for tat stuff. I came to see my daughter.
I came here for that reason.
Happy birthday to you.
But use your better judgment. Yes, you do want to see your kids, but.
And now here his father is giving him some advice. Use your better judgment. Yeah, you do want to see your kids, but, and now see, that's not an idea that I support. I feel like, same like Sarah, it's not about you. It's not about you, Michael. It's about you being present for your child. It's not about just you and how you're feeling in that moment. It's about how your child feels. Your child's first birthday, she should have her father there. And you should be wanting to give her that no matter what. So even with Sarah's shenanigans, the person that will come out on top is the person that sustains that order. So when Sarah did the shenanigan of basically having her new dude there on the side or whatever, having him present and kind of surprising Michael with that at a time that no one knew about, all Michael should have done was just been like, all right, I'm not going to fall into the BS. I'm just going to be here for my daughter's birthday no matter what. He should have stayed to the end, kindly tipped his hat and walked out when it was all done, said his hellos and goodbyes to everyone, and that would have worked just fine. And see, and that's what we need. We need that kind of grown man stuff. You know, I would have loved this episode if he just came in like looking fresh, like a grown man, maybe even with a suit on. My fantasy for them is if Michael would have came in like with a suit on, saw that she had this new guy, didn't trip off of it, and was just like, hey, okay, whatever. Came in, spoke to her parents, spoke to her guests as a respectable person. Sat around with his kids, whether or not they were crying, whether or not they remember him or not, just being present, getting involved with the games, and at the end, gone. Now that would have been some grown man stuff, and when you do that, then you don't give the person who you feel is antagonizing you, you don't give them room to make a fool out of you. You don't give them room to be the highlight of the show. You give them some grown man, and nobody can deny you of that. And even her own parents probably would have said, well, you know, he stayed and he spoke to me and blah, blah, blah. It's your character. This was your time to show your character. And like I mentioned in the last video, parenting is not for the weak. Being grown is not for the weak. You got to have some strength to do this stuff, and you have to be willing to do it.
But you don't want to get in a situation where it's going to be worse for you. So maybe you should call and talk to her first about it, because she's popping up on her, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Love you.
He's really like rubbing his head. He's really just kind of this.
Okay, am I setting up the rose petals and the streamers? Those waters need to go outside for the guests, okay? Because I know they hot. What do we do when things go wrong? What do we do to get back home? And they can come in the house. Put a fan in here. Turn on the air conditioner. Go put this in the room on the bed.
If you're going, you need to take a hotspot with you.
And I'm not worried about it. This is the most stressful. Where is Priscilla? Is Priscilla?
Where is Priscilla at?
So in this video, as you can see, Lamar's repairing the pool because it blew up. In the last show, he left it on. He left the air blowing up too long and it blew up. And the pool was for Priscilla's baptism.
Priscilla's missing.
She's outside.
You know how to do this?
What you got there?
You want me to go get scissors?
Yeah, we might need scissors.
Being baptized in a pool in the backyard, it's a little unusual, but I actually think it's cool. Maybe this way, huh? Come out further. Water is water. You know, the River Jordan where Jesus was baptized is dirty water. It's brown water. It's not clear water.
We cannot afford to mess this up.
Oh, you see, I shouldn't be involved.
We are totally. Look at Priscilla.
Oh, look at Priscilla.
Hi.
Oh.
So pretty.
Citizen.
She's such a pretty little girl, and what I can appreciate is that even if I don't agree with Andrea's practices and what have you, I have to tip my hat to this woman because she is all about trying to make sure she raises her kids right. And anyone who's just trying to make sure they do it right, no one is perfect. And 9 times out of 10, we're all just winging it when it comes to raising kids. But she's really trying to put her best foot forward here, and I really like that about her.
Look at Jonathan. He's getting ready to baptize.
No, I put another big one right here.
Another big one. I'm trying to fix the pool because everybody's coming. Priscilla's supposed to be getting baptized. Andrea done already threatened me that she's gonna move back to Utah if I don't make this baptism happen. So I'm still against it, but I still want it to happen. I do not want a bad day for Priscilla. You know, I don't want my baby girl thinking
Now that's a grown man. He's thinking about what his daughter's thinking. He's thinking about how this would affect his child. He does not agree with the Mormon church practices at all. But he's supporting his woman because he understands that she feels this is the best thing for his daughter. And all he wants to do is make sure that he's being a supportive father for the child and setting aside his differences. You can't get any better than that. That is just amazing, Father. And I really like how he's just being himself. He's always present as who he is. He's not being anything other than exactly who he is. And that's real cool.
you know, this up on purpose. So I gotta fix it ASAP. Plan B?
Andrea did tell me that Lamar's got some serious reservations. He's not totally down with this whole thing. I'm hoping that when he sees it, that the feeling is there, and he gets it.
Woo! Victory. Got it done. Look at your boy, made it happen. What's up, cuz?
I don't know how Dulo can show his face during a time like this when he know he just offered Tennyson some weed and now he has to face Andrea.
I wish you guys were here.
Dulo's here.
What? Okay, listen, y'all. So, you know, Tennyson's getting ready to go on a mission. And his uncle out here, Lamar's brother, actually offered him marijuana. Yeah.
That's horrible.
That uncle is not invited to the baptism, and he just showed up. I'm about to go uninvite and unwelcome him. I feel like Dulo doesn't respect boundaries. You know that Tennyson is my child. Respect me and my boundaries and what I'm trying to create for my child.
Hey, what's that, sis?
Can we have a come to Jesus moment?
I don't think we should tell him.
You know, I don't want to ever start our relationship off like as a lie.
What do you too?
You guys asking something what? Lacey.
Know what you got going on with the girls? Let me get them.
Malcolm is still here.
I don't care who there.
So while it's kind of recapping, I just want to say, as far as Andrea talking about Dulo coming to the birthday party now after he offered Tennyson some weed, you'll see what happens in the show. He just pretty much dismisses it and says, oh, you know, I was just joking. I just wanted to see what happened, and I just wanted to see how he would respond. And to me, he would have to get up, exit stage left ASAP. Because guess what? You don't get to play those kind of games with my kids. You don't get to see and figure out what they're going to do and all that. Who do you think you are? Who told you that you can come into my situation and try to figure out what page my child is on and all this kind of stuff? No, absolutely not. Because not only did he offer him to smoke, but he fired up right in front of him. And granted, weed is really not a really big deal. It actually has more good things that it can do to the body than bad. Overall, really, that's what research has shown. And research even going further back shows that the only reason that it was actually ever illegal was because of its monetary value, and they saw that they could really capitalize off of it. So and they wanted to, I think, either push tobacco instead. I can't recall, but I saw a documentary about it. But the point is, how dare you? Who do you think you are? You're not going to put anything in my child's face, whether or not it's not that bad or whatever at all, because the whole thing is that rocks the integrity and everything that I've taught my child. And secondly, I just forgot the thought I was going to mention, but secondly, there's nothing better than being sober. You never want to try to teach a kid that using any drug could optimize their life. That is not the thing to do. There is nothing better. I don't care what substances or whatever you add to your life. There's nothing better than being sober. Sober is the most optimal and highest state. Okay? Well, I won't even say highest state, because I know some shamans will probably argue me down with that. But overall, in approaching life and raising children, you don't want to give them anything bad. And you always want to just present them with the best case scenario. So as the guide, you are always presenting children with the best case scenario. So how dare he come in there and be like, oh, I just wanted to see what you're saying. Who do you think you're playing with? So you played a game with my child? No. And Tennyson was very mature about it. So we'll get back to that as they come back in. Let's go into Sean and Lacey as it's coming back to their situation.
Don't want to ever start our relationship off like as a lie.
It's not necessarily a lie.
So Shauna is talking about that because what ended their relationship previously was that he revealed to her that he had actually cheated in the beginning. And he's saying the reason why he revealed that is because he didn't want to start their marriage off as a lie. And so there is a lot of respect to that.
If you don't reveal everything. You might have a heart attack.
God, I don't want him to have a heart attack. Jesus. Oh my God, I cannot believe we're having triplets. I was definitely prepared to take on one baby, maybe two. What am I gonna do? You know, how am I gonna be able to afford all three of, these babies and plus the 3 kids we already have?
I hope that my body allows me to carry 3 babies, like, to full term.
I don't want to lose any of our babies.
I'm really scared because I know that this puts my pregnancy at such a high risk, and it makes me nervous for this whole pregnancy now. You sure about this?
I'm sure.
Hello.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, how you been doing?
Doing good. All right. Got him. I'm almost sat on him.
Aww.
So what's new, you two? How's the new house holding up? Good? New floors?
Yeah, we just got new floors put in, so.
Right.
Yeah, looks good.
I can't imagine her father because he's watched his daughter have 3 kids, and when the show started, she was living at home with her dad, and John had been in and out living there with them. So it's just kind of like, I know he's just like kind of over it. She has these 2 guys that she's dealing with. Things are a mess, and I just really feel like I know he's just like floored, like I just can't.
So, I'm gonna tell them where we were today. Right?
Huh?
Do you want to do it?
Are you guys hiding something or what? Huh?
Kids, come in here. Yeah, you can. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you guys something. It's how Poppy. Okay. So mommy is pregnant.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's great.
Look at the father. He's smiling, but I know he's just kind of like.
What do y'all think about that? Y'all might be having another brother and sister on the way.
I know it, right?
I can't handle another baby sister. Not another Gia. Not another Gia.
There's never a perfect time to have kids, but, you know, they could have waited until Shane got a job and definitely got off probation. And
We already got enough for a basketball team.
Come on, watch YouTube. Come on, go play in Poppy's room for a little bit. Okay?
That whole IVF procedure worked out the way we wanted it to.
Right?
It actually worked out a little too good, but it's actually more than one.
Look at his face. So he's like, okay, 2. Oh gosh. Because the thing is, I think he was really like helping her take care of these kids. So just as a father, I know he's just kind of worried, like, oh my God, is this the right thing? Man, what's going on?
Actually, more than 2. We're
More than 2.
having triplets.
Triplets. If you could just see the gap in his mouth, he's just like floored, like, what? 3 whole more kids for my daughter. You don't have a job. She's back and forth with John. And I think he was a little excited because I know that he doesn't like John. So I think he was a little excited because that kind of makes it like, well, at least I know that I'll have Shane as my son-in-law rather than the other guy. But now he's like, okay, 3 kids, like, what are you guys doing? And I just want to say, yeah, that's pretty extreme of a decision. But let's just never forget, human life and procreating and having children is the most beautiful and loving thing that anyone can do. It shouldn't be that people have to feel shame or anything like that because they want to have kids, but there should be a lot more maturity involved. But hey, since the beginning of time, people have been having children without understanding exactly how things are going to work out. If you recall that film, it's an old school film, so you may not know it's old. It's with Brooke Shields, but it's called The Blue Lagoon.
Jesus. What would you guys think? Thinking when you want to have 3.
It was planned, but not planned
He is just
like that. One of the embryos that we got transferred actually split into identical twins.
Right.
So we got a set of identical twins with a baby.
I thought we were done having babies, but we got 3 more coming on.
Good God.
I mean, I'm not prepared for something like that.
And if you notice, he said, I mean, I'm not prepared for something like that. It's because it's obvious that he was helping his daughter out a lot already with the kids. So he probably was happy that she was pregnant by Shane because they're already married, and it just kind of solidifies that he won't have to have John, the other guy, as his son-in-law, because it was obvious that he didn't like John that much. They kind of got into it and everything. I think he told John, don't ever come around or something like that again, but it's a lot. But let's not forget that having a child is the most natural thing humans can do. So yes, the scenarios aren't always right. They aren't always perfect, but there shouldn't be a lot of judgment that goes into the process of just having kids. But we should understand that the reason why he's a little irritated is because they're not prepared. Shane doesn't have a job. They already have 3 kids. It's just really a mess.
I mean, the normal guy is not prepared for 6 kids, but these kids are just rolling with the babies. My goodness, you need a bigger car, you need a bigger house, you need everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot to handle. How are you gonna pay for all that, man?
Might have to work 20 jobs.
You're gonna have to get one first.
Yeah, I'm definitely on it.
I'm not really worried about Lacey, I'll be honest with you. Lacey's always came through with finances or whatever Lacey wanted to do. Shane, on the other hand, I don't know. I'm worried about Shane stepping up and being a good provider. Maybe he'll be I don't know, a Mr. Mom. I don't know yet.
It's gonna be
So he's thinking like maybe he'll be the one that stays at home and Lacey goes out and brings the bread home. And that's perfectly fine. Who cares who decides to do what? But it's like something needs to happen though, because this is a lot of kids. And it needs to just be more planned out than what it is.
something new for you, that's for sure.
Lacey! The baby factory.
Yeah. You know, I can make them.
Oh yeah. Are you ready for this?
No.
No?
You push them 3 babies down, hopefully there's a sack of money behind them coming out of that thing.
Dream on.
You guys are stressing me out.
If I have to get 2 jobs, I'll work throughout the day and I'll get a night shift job. And whatever it takes to show her that I can be that man to step up and support her. Oh, we got plenty of time to prepare, that's for sure.
You live on Fantasy Island.
Right? He's like, you live on Fantasy Island. Like, what are you thinking? You know? But you know, that's the magic of humans, is that we are creators and we can do things just based on how we imagine them, believe it or not. But this is just frightening from here on, I'm sure.
This is bull. She didn't even file the marriage certificate. We're not even technically married. And now a date with another ex-con, which
I think Angela, in this situation with Angela and Tony, like Tony's saying, she didn't even file the marriage certificate. And I just think that's so funny, because I know that everyone watching all these other seasons were like, or last season at least, and other episodes were probably just like, not last season, but all the other episodes with Angela and Tony. I know everyone thought that Angela was the biggest fool. Like, are you kidding me? He's obviously using her. But no, she's not a fool at all. She actually has 3 men that she's dealing with. And not only that, yeah, they got married, but she didn't even file the marriage certificate. So it's like, joke's on you. She gave him an opportunity to get his stuff together, and when he didn't, she did not file that paperwork. So she's like, no, you're not gonna play me for a fool.
she's been talking to the whole time that we've been together. I left the prison life behind me. I left the drugs behind me. I left the whores behind me. I quit all that, and I've matured. Now Angela's the one acting like a child. Angela, open the door.
Tony, what do you want?
Let me inside.
What do you want?
Let me in.
God, do you ever quit?
I don't know why she makes me laugh. I love her, and I just really, I shouldn't have this much satisfaction out of the way that she played this, because I do feel that, you know, I want to see every relationship work out. But just the way he came out and played her so hard and had woman after woman, and he was having threesomes with prostitutes and all this kind of stuff, just kind of living his best life, or his version of his best life anyway. And now she's just like, ugh.
Jeez.
I've been talking to Tommy.
And?
He told me that you're seeing some guy, some inmate. What's that all about, huh?
It's none of your business, Tony.
So is
I know that's right. It's none of your business. And she's absolutely right. How is that your business? How is it your business what I got going on when you basically forfeited our marriage? You didn't respect it. You didn't respect boundaries. You didn't respect me as a woman. And that is the boundaries that every woman needs to set. If somebody's not respecting you, if someone's not following up with the commitment and meeting you halfway, doing the same thing you're doing, then nothing is your business. And
True or not?
Just leave it alone. It's
Leave what alone? Now, you're gonna tell me about this,
This is
dude.
my life, dude, okay? You had your chance. You had your chance.
now that aggression right there, that's when I would have been like, you better get up out of here, honey. You ain't fit to be up in my house knocking stuff over. And part of me feels like, because I know Angela, I remember in another episode, she had a bat. And it's just not funny. It's just not, I'm laughing, but it's just not funny, the kind of volatile situation he's creating here, starting to knock stuff down and stuff. Don't come in here and be aggressive towards me. And now you're angry, but he's more probably angry because everything that he thought he had in the bag, he thought that he was just, going to marry her, and then so he could have that foundation while he's a player to run back to, which a lot of men do, and women. A lot of men and women have that one foundational relationship that they kind of use to optimize other parts of their life while they just kind of do whatever they want to do. And he thought he was going to do that with Angela. She didn't even file the paperwork, and she basically was moving on.
Tell me about this, man.
What makes you think you have the right to know anything about my business?
That's right.
Angela, talking about being honest and everything. Why don't you tell me about it?
You don't deserve to hear the truth, Tony.
Come on now.
I had an internet date, okay? With a guy I knew back before, I ever met you.
So you've been talking to this mother the entire time you were with me?
All the times you screwed me around, guess whose shoulder I cried on?
You're the hypocrite. You've been trifling this whole time.
I'm not trifling. It's not like we made out over the damn Wi-Fi connection or anything.
It's all...
So, like she said, she not trifling. She wasn't doing anything, just living her best life. And like she said, whose shoulder do you think I cried on when you was doing all that stuff to me?
How dare you call me a cheater? We were split up. You seem to forget I never filed the papers, Tony.
We got up in front of those people. We made promises. What the... You made a commitment to me, and now you're breaking.
Why can you break your commitment, but I can't?
Now that's the question of the day. Why can you break your commitment, but I can't? There are so many relationships that work out that way these days, where one partner is doing whatever they want, living their best life, and the other one is expected to keep home and keep the household and keep everything running on their end. Doesn't work that way.
Still working on this, okay? I'm still trying here. I poured my heart out to you the other night. I told you how much I've been changing. You've been having an affair this entire time.
I haven't had an affair. He's my friend.
Yeah, and that's how it starts, though. That's how it started with me and you.
Honestly, Tony, I care a lot about this person.
Angela, You love him?
Yes, I love him. I always have. Life is too short for me to be sitting here wasting my time with Tony, his stupid ass. It's got me so burnt out and tired and lonely and bored. It's time for something new. I'm truly dying to go to Indiana and see Ross. We're not together anymore. It's over.
I love you, okay? And I'm not gonna stop chasing you.
I'm emotionally drained from you and all your bull. Get out of my face.
Not only were you doing drugs around my son, you offered it to him?
Wow.
You wanted him to get high, right?
Listen to what I'm trying to tell you.
You want him to be a drug addict.
You really want this out of proportion,
No, I'm
sis.
not.
Mommy, this is so fun!
Hi, babe. Now look at this yard. I think he said he spent $20,000 on it, but he like basically built a wall around, and then they have a little part where they can just, there's a little grass area. And then he has a little gym to the right in the corner, if you could see it there, like a punching bag and everything, like some boxing kind of stuff. I mean, this is cool. This guy really has family under his belt. He really knows what he wanted to create for this family, and I feel like he really went all out.
Look at how nice it is.
You ordered room service?
Yes, I did.
A little something for
That's so
everybody.
sweet.
Can you give me something?
Yeah, I got you a whole backyard. This is amazing. This feeling right here is well worth every penny.
I can't believe you tried to get me to move. Get the hell out of here. Zoila!
Yay!
You know, it's like I'm happy, like I'm sitting here watching our children play, you know, and I just can't help but think, like, my mom can't share that with us now.
I think what's really sad about it is not being able to be there for this time of their lives.
Yeah. You know, her lease is up in September, so she's not going to move until then. Nevada's not evicting people. They're not allowed to right now because of the pandemic. And I feel like maybe I need to have a heart-to-heart or a talk with her before that happens.
For as much as we can try to extend ourselves, it really doesn't mean nothing unless that person wants to be helped out.
And that couldn't be any further, that couldn't be any closer to the truth. He is absolutely right. You can't force anything on anyone. What you can do is allow them to be who they are and just love them anyway. You set boundaries and you just love them anyway. If they're getting high, no, you can't come over while you're high. No, you can't be alone with my kids. No, you can't be around my expensive things or my household things. But guess what? If you're living under the bridge somewhere and you're getting high and that's who you choose to be, guess what? I still love you. And I'll come see you. I could come meet up with you. But no, you can't come to my house. And no, I can't be giving you money and enabling you. But love doesn't have to go anywhere. And this idea that to get someone out of what they're going through by completely like disrespecting them or making them feel like they're alone or making them feel like they hit rock bottom is just a recipe for disaster. Love shouldn't do that.
All the things I'm seeing Brittany go through, I've already been through with my own mother. So can't nobody tell you how to do it, but ultimately, if Cindy wants to be a part of her grandchildren's life, then she's gonna have to do it.
Exactly. If she wants to be a part of her grandchildren's life, then she'll do what it takes. But no one's obligated to allow their children to witness certain things. So they could have times where, like, okay, maybe I'll meet you at this grocery store and we ran into you and you'll get to see the kids for 10 minutes or so, but make sure you're all cleaned up or what have you. There's ways you can do it. But no one's obligated to tolerate the repercussions and the horrible components of addiction. But you don't have to treat anyone badly. You don't have to talk to them poorly. And you should still respect them. And I think I was mentioning in the other video that there are certain people who are due honor. And parents is one of them. You don't have to disrespect them. Even if you have horrible parents, I know someone that has a father who did some horrible stuff to them. And they're not in their father's life. But they respect them. They've never cursed them. They've never said horrible things and cussed them out and just completely disrespected them. No, you don't have to do that. You can set boundaries and you can keep a healthy distance. But there's nothing that anyone should have to there's no reason why anyone should feel that a parent is ever not due honor.
Sober.
You know, Nicole is going to go to Alaska for a few months. I feel like everything is where it should be right now. I used to be a hardcore meth addict, and now that I'm sober and I have overcame my drug addiction, I feel like I have valuable information.
And maybe that's true. Maybe she does have some valuable information after having been a drug addict for all those years. Or maybe not.
People, that's my goal. And all I want more than anything for my mother is for her to be happy and for her to succeed and for her to be a part of my life and her grandchildren's life. We're not abandoning her. We're not leaving her. We are allowing her the space she needs to find herself.
Can we have a come to Jesus moment?
Come to your moment.
You offered my son marijuana. I feel like you and everybody y'all come with is a bad influence on not only my husband now, but my son as well.
Wow.
You wanted him to get high, right?
You're really going this out of proportion,
No, I'm
sis.
not.
If you would just take the time.
Do you want him to be a drug addict?
He's not going to be a drug addict. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm listening. Going to listen.
First of all, I offered him marijuana. I was just joking with the kid. I just want to see. Yes,
about
yes,
offering my
yes.
son
Yep.
drugs?
Yeah. If Tennyson would have said, okay, let me hit that right there, I would have like, what the you ain't hitting? I'm telling your mama.
So that sounds all fine and dandy or whatever, but I don't need you to play those kind of games with my child if I have. You see what he said? Oh, yes, I offered your son drugs, but I was just joking. I wanted to see what he was going to do. No, you don't get to come around my thing and play with my children's well-being in that way. Who do you think you are? You should have talked to me about it. You should have ran that across me first and said, hey, you know, I had this idea. I want to see if Tennyson's going to try drugs if I offer it to him. You could have did that. But taking that extra step and moving forward saying, oh, I was just joking. I wanted to see what he was going to do. Who said, and who gave you the right to do that? He didn't have the right to do that. And Lamar did check him about that, Tennyson mentioned, but that wasn't cool. You know, that's really immature.
That's what would have happened. I know Tennyson. He's a stand-up dude. That's what make it funny.
And he thinks it's funny. I don't think it's funny. Especially Tennyson, that boy is doing very well. I'm not a fan of the Mormon practices and all of that. But hey, whatever makes you be a better person, good for you. And that boy is so well-rounded. He's respectful. He's intelligent. He's honest. He's integrous. I mean, don't you dare. How could you come to me and think that you're going to teach my son something? No, he should not have done that at all.
I'm having a hard time listening to him because it all sounds like a bunch of BS. And all of a sudden it clicked inside of me. This dude is high right now. So you're wasting your time. Just agree with him because he's high right now.
Well, I apologize if we hurted your feeling a certain type of way.
Appreciate it.
And I'm sorry for offering Tennyson.
Please don't do it again.
I promise.
Dula can be here for Priscilla's baptism. But I don't trust Lamar's family, so they need to stay away from me and my kids.
That's a hard call to make. I don't know that I would allow him to be there, but thinking about the child, maybe it would have been helpful for her to see, you know, lots of family come there in support of her. But I don't know. I don't think it would have got to the point where I was able to make that decision in that moment, because if he would have came up my driveway, it would have been checkmate right there.
Mark, what's up? You ready to get out there?
Are you ready? That's what you're wearing?
Yeah. When this is the baptism outfit, I guess. Yeah. I mean, normally it looks a little bit more nice and big. It's usually like a whole one piece. It's like a one piece thing.
Nah, I ain't judging. I'm just gonna wear this if I decide to go, but I'm not sure. It's not my upbringing or my belief system.
This dynamic right here is just such a beautiful thing to me. It's a little strange also because I get the feeling like Tennyson is so mature. I feel like he's just such an old soul. He reminds me of like an old master, and I feel like he manifested himself, and Lamar manifested Tennyson in his life as well through Andrea, so that Lamar would have this, because he offers a healthy exchange for Lamar. It's such a healthy relationship, and he's able to feel like Lamar's able to feel like he has a bond with Tennyson because of this. However, there is also an element where children should not be playing the adult role in the home. And when you hear and witness the exchange between Lamar and Tennyson, it's almost as if Tennyson is the adult. And because he's so mature and so intelligent and such an old soul, it always comes off that way. If you go back to other episodes at the wedding, he was just kind of, really, really helping Lamar out. I think he tied his tie and everything. It's like he's showing him. And I think that is very telling of how he's been raised. So even though we're not fans of the Mormon practices, this relationship is very telling and very seemingly healthy between the two.
It seems like I'm the one making a lot of the compromises, even though I know you guys moved it wise, but there's more to it than just moving to wise. I have to make lots of compromises.
It's still your choice at the end of the day. The main thing is
Exactly. And he's so mature. It's still your choice at the end of the day.
it's probably one of the most important things in the Mormon religion for a kid to go through, and that's what Priscilla's going through right now. And not having her dad there would kind of, for me, I didn't have mine there, but I mean, at that point, I was already used to that, so I didn't have to think about it. But Priscilla has you now, so not having you there would, I don't know, it muddy the whole experience for her.
I don't believe in things being set in stone when it comes to religious this early. Like, this is something Andrea needs. What I believe in, I don't force on her or the kids.
And that's very well understood. But the thing I like to take away from this is that Andrea does have a plan for the kids. He doesn't, so.
And I allow you to be you and the kids to be them.
Now that's where it's at right there. I allow you to be you and the kids to be them. That is such a beautiful way. That is the way things should be. Allow people to be who they are. If they both had that, if Andrea had some of that too, where she could allow him to be who he is, their relationship would just flourish and be such a beautiful one. However, he's the one compromising, and I believe when you do a lot of time that way, you have to evolve in your thinking. And Lamar is really on a high vibration in his thinking where he's able to allow people to be who they are. That is very telling about a person. When someone can allow others to be who they are, even when it's practices that they don't agree with and believe in, especially in rearing children, that says a whole lot. And it takes a really humble person who is self-actualized and knows who they are to be able to set aside their own emotions and deal with that. So I just really commend Lamar for doing that. Like, he's really giving his best try. He really knows how to put the children first. And him and Tennyson kind of bounce off of each other, making sure that they keep their household together. And the way that Lamar respects Tennyson, it's just really a beautiful thing. He respects him. He actually listens to him. And I think that's very healthy for Tennyson, even though he shouldn't be in a more adult role. The way it works out between them because of Lamar just makes it a beautiful dynamic and a healthy situation for the household overall. Let's jump back in.
I hope to see you down there.
I need to know for my sake what is really going on, because from what I've seen, that is not over yet.
Now, that made a lot of sense.
How the hell is this gonna work? How the hell am I gonna hold 3 babies at the same time?
Oh, that is so true.
Hey,
What are you doing, weirdo?
I am just practicing holding 3 babies at the same time. How are you gonna breastfeed? You're gonna have to put like 2 of them on one nipple, then have the other one on this side sucking on that nipple. Just like that. Oh.
You done dropped our baby.
Oh my God! Oh! Oh, are you okay? Oh.
He doesn't have any baby experience.
Oh, don't cry, don't cry. See, it's fine, the baby's fine.
But it is really reassuring to see how excited he is.
I bet it is very reassuring for her to see that he's just so excited. In the same token, though, Shane already expressed how much he really needs this family situation because he didn't have one coming up. He really needs to have a family. And that desperation, however, can be unhealthy. especially if you're dealing with a partner who also is not mature. So I just really hope the best for them.
To be a dad, and that makes me happy.
Hey, look, I'm holding the babies.
It's my stuffy.
Yeah, you're like violating her stuffy.
Am I violating your stuffed animals? She's the love of my life. The whole scene that went down with John and her, and now John's back in jail. We've really just moved on, and we're just looking at our future and what we got ahead of us. So hold the two smaller ones on one side and the big one on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm getting it.
You're getting it.
I'm good. I'm glad I'm getting it.
Come on.
He been on Angela's line, baby. He been on Angela's line after all the stuff he put her through. Now look how the tables turn. That's what everyone watching this should take away from this, is that it's something about those tables. You get what you have to eat what you're served, but the tables do turn, honey.
I'm a disease. I don't know where I'm from. Don't know what to believe or what I gotta become.
At the tone, please record your message.
Finding out that she was cheating on me really, really hurt me. And I believe it's a way to get back at me for cheating on her. And I still love her, and nothing's gonna change that. We have history together. We're best friends. She loves the sex.
Him and Angela be tearing those cigarettes up. But he said, what did he just say? He said, did he say, hold on, let's hear what he said here.
Finding out that she was cheating on me really, really hurt me. And I believe it's a way to get back at me for cheating on her. And I still love her, and nothing's gonna change that. We have history together. We're best friends. She loves the sex. And you know what?
We have history together. We're best friends. She loves the sex. What about she's an honest person? She has integrity. She knows how to commit. It's like he's really not ready, and Angela does know that. But maybe this situation will make him grow up a little bit. Maybe not.
But I don't think she can live without me.
I don't think she could live without me. So he's operating off of the game he's already ran on her. He's operating off of how he had her once upon a time. But when a woman's done, usually and sometimes. But that's only if Angela was really done. She had never walked away. This is her first time walking away. And usually people in this type of dynamic in a relationship where there's a lot of mistrust and commitments have been broken, usually they end up breaking off, and then the other partner believes that because they walked away that now the partner is going to be everything they wanted them to be, and usually that's just a temporary resolve, and that's not how it really happens. So it's interesting. We'll find out.